So thank you for being here tonight. I am Courtney Ochi, and I am the proud principal of Lemon Grove Academy Elementary. And I'm really excited to be sharing with you our next phase of learning for this school year. We have three really big goals when it comes to this next phase of our reopening. And the first one is to be able to provide in-person instruction to all of our families that want to return back to our physical school when we come back from spring break until the end of the school year. We also want to ensure that our families who would like to remain virtual through the end of the school year have the opportunity to do so and to remain in distance learning. Choices for our families are super important to us. And the last piece of this is we want to ensure that we're incorporating our proven COVID-19 mitigation strategies to ensure that our students and our staff are safe when returning to campus. I'm watching Nuria for our translation, so thank you for all of my pauses as I'm speaking to all of you. But please, throughout this presentation, feel free to use the chat to answer or to ask any of the questions that you have. We're also going to be recording this as well as posting these slides for all of you to see via Class Dojo and YouTube. So we sent out a survey at the beginning of March to see how many families would like to come back in person and how many families would like to go into continue in our virtual setting. So this is where our numbers landed. We have 353 students that will be rejoining us on campus in April, as well as 90 students who will be continuing in our virtual academy. Here's our timeline for our return. And so as you see, we had our parent survey that occurred and closed. And this week we have our teachers on site as they're preparing their physical spaces and their classrooms for the students who will be returning to campus with us. Our teachers have been working really hard to create both welcoming and safe classroom environments to welcome back any of the kiddos who are coming back to school in person. Don't forget to mark your calendars that next week and the following week are spring break, so there will not be school. And our preschool, kindergarten, first and second graders who are returning in the hybrid mode will be coming back on April 12th. This also includes students in our special day class who I had a parent town hall with this morning. Our entire campus will be back together. So our pre-K through sixth graders will be all on site on April 19th in our hybrid mode. And I'm gonna show a calendar and a visual to show what the hybrid in-person option looks like. And our last day of school is June 16th. So this is a calendar of what it looks like for the remainder of the school year, or a remainder of this of our return back. Is that in our hybrid setting that begins on April 12th for our preschool through second graders, Group A, so half of our students will return back to school on Monday and Tuesday, while the other half of students will return back on Thursday and Friday. We will be notifying you of whether you are on a Monday and Tuesday Group A schedule or whether you're on Thursday, Friday's Group B schedule tomorrow. So you will be notified via Class Dojo, and your teachers will be messaging you. We will also be mailing these notifications home with report cards so that you get the notification of whether you're in Group A or Group B, both on Class Dojo, through teacher message, and in the mail. On the week of April 19th, we'll have all of our hybrid Group A students coming back. So our students who are assigned to Monday and Tuesday in grades preschool through sixth grade will all be back on April 19th and 20th. Or April 22nd, and April 23rd. So again, this is what the schedule looks like. If a student is in group A for the hybrid model, that means that they'll be on campus on Monday and Tuesday, while the other half of their class is learning from home on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, all students are learning at home for our minimum days. And so our students, similar to how we have it now, our students will have their morning meeting together on Wednesdays. And then on Thursday and Friday, our group A that came on Monday and Tuesday would be learning from home, while our group B students who were at home on Monday and Tuesday would then be coming on campus on Thursday and Friday. Our campus will be deep cleaned on Wednesdays and Saturdays, while also receiving regular daily cleaning to ensure that we are thoroughly cleaning our campus for our cohorts. I see a question in the chat about families with more than one child. So yes, we place all households together, meaning that if there are siblings or students living in the same household, they were placed on the same day, either in group A, Monday and Tuesday, or group B, Thursday and Friday. So wanting to share a little bit about what the hybrid experience is going to look like. On our in-person days, we are really focusing on welcoming your students back in, reminding them of the joys of school, or teaching them about the joys of school for the first time for our newest learners. They will be receiving small group instruction. They will be receiving both social emotional learning support and support in reading and mathematics. A lot of physical movements. We know that our students have been on their computers a lot this year, so we want to get them moving and active safely, as well as receiving special education supports if that's applicable to them. On our distance learning days, or on the days when students are working at home, our teachers have provided lessons or asynchronous activities for them. So these might include things like iReady or various other lessons from home. Other things that we're including on those days are PE. And so our students have their AMP rotation this trimester, they will be having PE that will happen over Zoom for students while they're at home, as well as library time and other small group supports and activities. And so a lot of that time will be, there will be at least one live Zoom each of those distance learning days. It may not be with their primary teacher, but with our staff members, as well as various other independent activities for them to participate in. If your student is remaining in the full distance learning model, their days will look really similar to how they do right now, with 4 full days of instruction and our Wednesday half day, all in the distance learning setting. For our students that receive special education services, our special day class, as I mentioned, we had our town hall this meeting, and our students will be attending their classes either in person or virtually. And for students who receive IEP services, our goal is to have students receiving in-person services as much as possible. Although there will be some times where IEP services must continue virtually due to scheduling constraints, but our goal is to always be able to see our students on site while they are there, as well as providing that extra virtual support if that is needed for scheduling. So before I get into some of the specifics for our site and questions that you may have about our schedule and what it will look like, I also want to just share some of our COVID-19 mitigation strategies, or ways that we want to ensure that our students and our staff are staying safe. There are 8 main strategies that have been proven to mitigate COVID-19. And the first one is screening and testing. So we will be screening, and I'll go into the screening process with our students and our staff, but there are daily screenings. All of our staff will be participating in bi-weekly testing, and families have the option of opting into screenings that occur at school if they choose to. We also are promoting our social distancing. So in our classrooms, we have desks distanced apart at 6 feet. And as well as when we are outside, we are going to be teaching our students about safely distancing in all of the ways that they are interacting with one another. Mask wearing is also very important. And so we will have facial coverings will be required for students as well as staff, properly worn above the nose. And we will be teaching our kiddos the importance of that, but we ask for your help in getting them comfortable with wearing their masks so that they are comfortable with that when they are at school. Of course, when they're eating or drinking, they will not be wearing their masks, but at all other times, it is an expectation that our students and our staff are wearing their masks. We will also be cleaning our classrooms daily, classroom disinfection. We will be deep cleaning them on Wednesdays and Saturdays, so in between those two hybrid groups. And we have additional staff that was hired for our cleaning and sanitation specifically, so that's a big priority for us. Or of the other mitigation strategies are we want to practice proper hand hygiene. And this is something we taught regardless of COVID that was important for us to teach to our kiddos is washing their hands thoroughly. But we will have extra hand washing stations as well as hand sanitization stations so that our kids' hands are clean. We are going to be utilizing outdoor spaces. I'm excited to show you our plans for recess and lunch and how we plan to spread out our students safely outdoors, as well as just taking advantage of being in San Diego and having this nice weather to enjoy learning outside. Our teachers are very excited about that with our students and taking learning outside when it's available for them. At Lemon Grove Academy Elementary and throughout our district, we also got bipolar ionization units that help to filter and clean our air within all of our classrooms and indoor spaces. And all of your students will have individual supplies and materials. So they will have their own material boxes. They will have their own things that they are using as well as their own assigned seating. I saw a question in the chat about whether or not students are bringing their Chromebooks to school. Yes, we ask that they bring them to school. While we will not be spending as much time on the computers at school, they are useful learning tools for our students. So having their Chromebooks charged and ready at school is very helpful. So here are some LGAE specifics about our campus. So our school hours remain the same. Our school begins at 8:20 and ends at 2:40 for our grades K through 6. Our school gates are going to open at 8:05 and we have after the first week. So during our first week where we're just welcoming back our kinder through second graders, our main gate will be open to welcome our students in. After that, once our whole campus is back, both our main gate as well as a gate near our auditorium are going to be open for entrance starting at 8:05. Staff will be assisting students in locating their classroom. I know these are new classes for them, so we have our team ready to go to welcome our kiddos in and make sure that they go to the right place and they're safely in their correct classroom. At this time, your student safety is really important to us and keeping them in their stable groups is important. So we are not permitting any visitors or volunteers on campus for the time being to ensure that we can have, our safe, stable groups at school. When our entire campus is back on April 19th, I am showing you a map of our campus. And so classes on the second half of our campus, it would be best to utilize this second gate so that near our auditorium so that you can easily have your students head to their classrooms on the bottom half of campus, while the top half of campus can head to our main gate. This helps us, with students not crossing paths as often, making sure that they're able to get straight to their classrooms. And so with our entrance and exits at school, again, school hours remain the same. So our dismissal time is still 2:40 p.m. Our kinder through second graders are going to be dismissed out in the front main entrance of campus. There are two lawn areas. So our kindergartners will be waiting in the lawn area closest to our preschool, and our first and second graders will be waiting in the other lawn area. Our third through sixth graders will be exiting out of the other gate on the other side of our preschool. These multiple gates help us spread out our students so that we can maintain that social distancing. But if you have a third through sixth grader with and as well as a kinder through second grader, they are welcome to pick their sibling up or go to meet them with their kinder through second grade sibling so that they're all in one place for you to pick them up. Super important. If your child walks home, if they walk home independently, please notify your teacher. We are ensuring that we want to know if our students are walking home so that we can safely ensure that they are out of our campus safely. And so please let your teacher know if your child is planning to walk home independently. Awesome. So when students come onto campus, as I said, student screening is an important process. There are three parts to our student screening. The first part is with our passive screening. So prior to coming to school, we ask that you screen your student and you screen your children. If they have any symptoms that are consistent with COVID-19, or if you or your family has been in close contact with a person who has COVID, we ask that you please call our office and keep your students at home. The safety of our kiddos is dependent on our whole community working together, and so that's going to be really important for us. The second part of our screening is a visual screening. So as students are coming onto campus or while they're at school, we're going to be monitoring our kids to make sure that they are feeling well throughout the day, making sure that they're symptom-free and feeling healthy and well while they're with us. And last, there's an active screening. So when students first come onto campus, all students will be screened by their classroom teacher when they enter the classroom. So this means we'll be taking their temperature as well as checking to see if they're feeling well and that they have not been in contact with anyone with COVID-19. If your student is not feeling well in the morning or throughout the day, you will immediately get a call from our health clerk asking you to come pick them up. I know I had some questions in the chat about our pickup and drop off procedures. So I want to get to those before we move on to our next part of this. One of the questions is if this for drop off, if this will apply for the first week or for the rest of the school year. So this is for the entire rest of this school year. And so as you can see for our drop off in the morning during the first week, only our main gate will be open. But starting on April 19th through the end of the school year, both gates will be open because we'll have our full campus back. Great question. And I have also a question about a lot of our families who go to EDP and if staff will be taking kids or will they be walking on their own to our EDP program. So our EDP program is on site. It is in our school, in our classroom, and we have staff that will be monitoring students walking to EDP. Our kindergartners will be picked up from our EDP staff, and the remainder of our EDP students will be walking down to EDP monitored by our staff. We actually have a staggered time for our EDP students, so they will actually be walking down a little bit earlier just to ensure that they are not coming into cross contact with any of the other students being dismissed. Great questions. So to close on our part of our screening, again, these are the questions regarding our health screening. So these are the symptoms that we want to just continue to ask for your help in monitoring with your kids, as well as our temperature check. We do this as well for our staff to ensure that our staff is healthy and ready to take care of your kids and teach and learn alongside them. So in class, there are also other strategies that we're using to ensure that kids are staying safe. So again, all students have their own individual materials. We have gotten supplies, material boxes, everything your student needs at school, and they have their own set so that they are not sharing and they have their own materials that they will be touching. We also have visual markings all around campus to help our kids and remind them about physical distancing. We know that 6 feet is hard to conceptualize for some of our kids and ourselves. And so we have physical markers all throughout campus at our lunch areas to make sure that our kids can see, where they're going to be stepping, where they're going to be sitting so they can safely distance from each other. Our class sizes are also small and ensure that all of our students in our class have their assigned seats at 6 feet apart or more. And so none of our classes exceed 15 students. They are all smaller than that on the days that they are there to ensure that there are small, stable groups. And again, teachers are excited to be taking advantage of our weather and instructing outside as much as appropriate or possible. We have a lot of outdoor seating that we provided for our teachers and our students this year, as well as different materials to be able to take their learning outside. So we're really excited about that. Regarding meals and food, I know this is a question that many of you have. So students will no longer be eating breakfast in the classroom, but breakfast will still be provided to students. So on the first day that your child comes to school, they will be given their breakfast item that they'll be able to eat at snack time. But after that, breakfast items will be sent home with your child. So they'll be sent home with a week's worth of breakfast. And we ask that you have your child eat their breakfast at home before coming to school. Lunch will also be provided during the school day. We are grateful to have been granted a provision at our school at LGAE where all students are able to eat for free, and so no students will be charged for their lunch. And so all students will have that meal for free for them at school. However, if you would like to pack a student their own lunch or their own snacks, you are welcome to. We would prefer that you pack it in something that your child can just throw away or toss so that they don't have to worry about their lunchbox and where that goes. Students will also receive meals to take home for the remainder of their week, including like supper snacks, fresh vegetables and fruits. And so on the last day that the student is there for that week, meaning for our group A students on the Tuesday or group B students on the Friday, they will get a pack of meals that they will be able to take home. And we know that there are also our students who are in our full distance learning academy. So if your student is in our full distance learning and they are not coming onto campus, there will still be our meal distribution point at Alvarez Auditorium right next door to us, but that'll be on Wednesdays from 8 to 10 a.m. So I have a question in the chat about breakfast. So it'll be similar to like the food distribution, except we will be giving it to you. So rather than you needing to pick up breakfast if you're a student coming on in person, or you needing to pick up those extra meals, we'll actually be sending them home with your child. And so whether they go to EDP or if they're on campus and they're going home right after school, we'll be placing those bags full into their backpacks to send home with you. So we've organized that with our nutrition services to be able to send them home in like carrying bags that they can take with them. So what is recess and lunch gonna look like? Being outside is so important and we wanna ensure that our kids can get outside and play safely. So students will still have a morning recess as well as a lunch and afternoon recess. And so students will remain though in their class group. So they will be safely with their classmates in their stable group. Each class has a bag of equipment, their own bag of equipment to use while they're outside. These materials and these play equipment are going to be cleaned between our group A and our group B students. And we're also requiring all students to either hand wash or hand sanitize both before and after they play with any of the equipment or any of the materials that they're playing with. We've designated outdoor zones or outdoor spaces. So you can see we have an orange zone, our green zone, our black zone, and our yellow zone. And so throughout the 2 days that your student is there, they will get to play in each of those zones, but we're able to rotate them through. And that way they are able to stay with their group safely. So at one time, you may have anywhere between like 8 to 15 students only in one zone. So we wanted to ensure that we can have enough space for distancing while keeping the group stable and together with just their class. So the last few things to share are that there are 3 main things that we need our students to bring to school. 1 is their mask. 2 is their charged Chromebook and charger. And 3 is a water bottle. All 3 of those things are super important. So please help us with having your child have their mask, their charged Chromebook and charger, and their water bottle. We do not have our water fountains in use right now due to COVID. So there are spaces for our students to refill their waters on campus, but they won't be able to physically put their mouth to a water fountain right now. So please have them bring a water bottle. And here are our next steps, or what you can expect next from us, is that tomorrow class lists will be provided. We will be posting them on Class Dojo, and then we will be mailing them out at the end of the week, so you'll also receive them via mail. Please continue to check your email and our class and school dojo so that you're staying up to date with all the information that we are providing. And with that, we know this is a big transition. It's a transition for us as well. And so we encourage you to talk to your children about how they're feeling, whether how they're feeling about remaining in full distance learning or how they're feeling about returning back to school. All of their emotions are normal, all those feelings, and wherever they are at, we're ready to welcome them back to us or continue to work with them as they're learning from home. Having your child practice wearing a face covering or that mask, as this is a requirement, so they can get used to it and feel comfortable with it. And they can start to pack their backpack if they're heading back to school, getting ready with that water bottle, that mask, and that Chromebook so they are ready to go. I see a question. If a student does not have a school Chromebook, do they have to bring their own device? No, we will have devices for all of the students if they do not already have one checked out. So no, they do not need to bring their own device. We have one Chromebook for every student. And so if they never borrowed one, we will make sure that they get one at school. Great. I see a few more questions that are coming in as well about when you'll be notified about EDP. And so I know that our extended day program will be sending out a survey, and I believe that's on Friday with notification over spring break. For questions about that, you can contact the director of our extended day program, Christine Palomo. If you don't have her contact information, I'm happy to connect you to ensure that we can support you with our EDP. But with that, I want to say thank you so much. It's been a wild year to say the least, and our community is incredible. And what we've been able to build at this point is we're just so grateful for, and we're appreciative of the partnership, because we know that we couldn't have done it without all of you families. You've done a lot at home to support your kiddos. I know it hasn't been easy. I'm so grateful for you. Our teachers are grateful for you, as partners, as co-teachers. And so thank you so much. At this point, we are going to leave some room for questions for anybody who has them. But I just wanted to share that gratitude before we ended, because we've gotten to this next phase of where we're at, and I'm really grateful for all of our families. So thank you for that. If you're able to stick on or you have additional questions, please stay on with us. If not, thank you so much and have a wonderful evening.